Google's future depends on their management and implementation of artificial intelligence. Google is thinking about charging their users to use an AI version of the Google search engine in the future, although nothing has been officially announced or confirmed by Google themselves. But a lot of tech sites and channels have been talking about this, myself included, and it is bringing up a hot debate on whether or not Google should go forward with this subscription-based model. This will be a rather radical and big shift for Google and its users. For the first time ever, we will need to start paying to search Google. What was once completely free and had the best search results, is now nothing but a cash-grabbing data hog that sells your data like it's going out of fashion, and this move towards a subscription-based model search engine may have both positive and negative impacts on Google and their users. Let's talk about the positives of this. Paying for Google's artificial intelligence search will allow for you to quickly and easily find what you're looking for. You can skim through the results with the AI, whereas normal search engines, you have to do lots of digging to find the right answer for a particular question or query, so this added benefit could draw a lot of people into paying to use the artificial intelligence version of Google Search. I am going to call it Google Search Enhanced, because that's literally what the artificial intelligence is supposed to do, enhance the search engine so it can better suit your needs, wants, and preferences. This will also rake in the cash for Google, greatly increasing their revenue, so there's a bonus for them. And lastly, this artificial intelligence will be a game changer, but only if Google gets it right the first time round. Their future quite literally depends on their implementation and management of artificial intelligence, so we don't have a full perspective on Google's artificial intelligence search engine yet, but the thought of this endeavor is kind of crazy, if you know what I mean, because while it does offer advanced features, it was not that long ago that Google was advanced, and it was free. In 2013, Google Search was still the best search engine. But after the introduction of sponsored search results, more ads proliferating Google Search, and being specifically optimized in such a way that does not lead you to find the answers you're looking for, have all greatly reduced the quality of this search engine, which is why many have been looking for viable alternatives. And yet, Google is still the best search engine. I regret saying that, I really do. I hate Google. I wish DuckDuckGo was the most used search engine, because at least they respect user privacy and don't hog your data like it's going out of fashion. But what makes Google the best is the enormous data set that Google has. For example, Google has over 100 billion sources in their datasets. Microsoft Bing, by contrast, only has around 8 to 16 million sources. Therefore, it is less likely that Bing will predict and find what you're looking for. But that does not make Bing trash, and Google is not necessarily trash either. But with the reduction of quality over the years, this has heavily impacted Google's ability to give quality results. And so, it does make it trashy, especially when talking about sponsored search results, and it's not friendly with privacy-conscious users either. But this radical shift towards artificial intelligence is inevitable, and you know it's going to hurt when it finally does take over the world. Because while robots might be doing all the work, we will be poor and on something known as a universal basic income, which is essentially government welfare for anyone and everyone, including the rich and wealthy. But this income won't be much, because if billionaires are the ones who manage it, which they will be, then they will do everything they can to ensure we have as little money as possible, while they have as much luxury and wealth as possible. Don't you just hate the inequality of our world and society? It is so unfair and not equal. I wish the world was communist after all, ha ha. Well, we don't know if a communist world would be much better, but we do know that monopolies and tech giants certainly would not exist inside a communist society. But no such society really exists. Communist is a classless, stateless, penniless society, where everyone shares and helps one another. Name one country where everyone is doing that. Exactly, there are none, and the so-called communist countries are anything but communist. But enough jibber-jabber about communism, let's get back to the important matters. Now, I do want to go over the negatives of Google's artificial intelligence search, because there are a number of dangers and downsides that may push you away from using Google for good, once it goes subscription-based. Threatened freedom and autonomy. If Google is successful at implementing artificial intelligence into their search engine, then they will be able to have complete and total control over the entire population, well, at least those who use their services and products, which threatens our liberties and freedoms online. Because if Google gets artificial intelligence to flag certain things or censor them, it would likely also instantly notify your government or authorities about your internet activity, and even if you're not acting suspicious, or your query had nothing sus inside of it, the cops don't give a shit. If they think you're some sort of terrorist, they will come and arrest you, hey presto. And Google works with the police all across the world to keep track of citizens' behaviors and browsing habits, because some people are not too bright when it comes to being smart online, and they do something dumb like look up illegal marketplaces or things on Google, which gets the attention of the police almost instantly. Then the cops may or may not request a warrant for Google to hand over the user's data, but either way, this citizen now spends his or her life in jail, forever. All because they searched up something without knowing that Google cannot be trusted with user data, and this is a serious threat to all of us. Unless you're in a position of power, Google can get the cops to ruin your life in a heartbeat, even if you have done absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever. You think Google and the police give a shit about that? No, they do not. They don't care if you're a good or bad person. Google wants money, and the cops are just doing what they always do, doing their job, and Google will make sure you cannot prove yourself innocent, should you be convicted of an internet-based crime. They will destroy all data and evidence once they have handed it over to the cops, and who knows what the cops will do with your data, but this increased surveillance and power really does pose a significant threat to our lives. Thanks Google. The fact that Google is going subscription-based will also leave poor people, or those willing to not pay for the enhanced search, with the shitty Google that we have now, and I am sure some people will not pay for Google, either because they don't have the money, or they personally do not want to support Google, so either way, you're gonna be left with a piece of shit that's not worth using, so you're better off finding an alternative search engine like Bing or DuckDuckGo, once Google goes subscription-based. Lastly, Google will have more control and power than ever before. With the enormous market share that Google has, it would not be possible that threats to our freedoms, liberties, autonomy, and control would not be seen or recognized, and I am so surprised nobody else has even thought of this. So if anyone could please share this video, that would be great. We need more people to realize the dangers of Google's subscription-based model. So please like this video and share it with friends and family. This 1984-styled Google search is the worst search engine dystopia you could ever think of, with the ability to ruin lives over absolutely nothing, and the great powers and fascist motives behind it. Google is like the Nazi, it will gas you if you object to joining the Nazis, and that's very sad and pathetic when you think about it, because Google is a company that offered something astounding in years past. But they are not what they once were. Google has become this greedy-ass motherfucking tech giant who wants all your data and gives it out to people you know cannot be trusted with your data, and with the event of their search engine going subscription-based, this will piss off many people, myself included, and we will find a way to get quality search results without paying, one way or another. And don't give me this bullshit that DuckDuckGo is not private, or it is going subscription-based. That is all bullshit, and unless it can be proven with facts and evidence, I will not believe it for a second. All you're going to do is hurt the reputation of DuckDuckGo if you say shit like that, and that is not okay, because I love DuckDuckGo, as do many others, and we know for a fact that it does not collect, store, and sell user data, and ads are not shown due to profiling. They are shown based on keywords in the search query, So this search engine might actually become a popular and viable alternative for those who do not want to use Google's artificial intelligence search engine. I am sure DuckDuckGo will potentially get artificial intelligence at some point, but I imagine it will use an open source model, and be more respectful towards user privacy. Anyway, is this future a dark one for Google and its users, or do you think it's a move in the right direction? Please let us all know down in the comment section below. In my opinion, we are headed towards an Orwellian-styled world, where the entire world is run by dictators, and companies like Google have complete and total control over the citizens, so much so that they can arrest the entire population and make an example of everyone, if they really wanted to, but I doubt that will ever happen. But this future is not a bright one, I can tell you that now. Google will be this evil red page search engine that has the cops spying on your every search as you search, and the moment you type in a word like terrorist, you're instantly taken to prison and locked up for all eternity. Those fucking cunts got more undeserved power. Thanks Google, we love it when you ruin people's lives, we really do. I am obviously being sarcastic here, but you can see how privacy-conscious people like myself are so triggered and annoyed by this move towards complete and total control, especially in a search engine. Something so basic should not pose a danger to our lives, but apparently it should. So here is my suggestion, get the fuck off of Google right fucking now and start using DuckDuckGo. Don't listen to any conspiracy nut job theories surrounding DuckDuckGo, get on the privacy bandwagon, and your life will thank you in the long run. Fuck Google off out of your life. You don't need this dangerous monster in your life. If you don't take my advice, you could be facing some serious penalties with the police, as Google might want to make an example out of you. So do be very careful if you decide to use Google, moving forward, and don't be surprised if the cops come to take you away to prison for a non-existent, victimless internet crime that you never even committed in the first place. But Google and the cops don't give a shit. They are powerless to help you but not powerless to corrupt you. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. They have all the power, you have none. These things are very important to remember when using Google, and if you know the police, you know damn well that they have all the power to do as they please. So don't make yourself an easy target for Google and the cops if you don't have to. DuckDuckGo won't ever give your data away to anyone, because it never collects user data to begin with, and as a result, even if the cops demanded data from DuckDuckGo, DuckDuckGo could not give it out, because it has no user data or logs to begin with, whereas Google has billions of users' data stored in its servers. And if it's not the police you have to worry about, it almost certainly is online security, because a data breach is also dangerous and can leak your data onto websites and places it really should not be in, and with the billions of accounts that Google has access to, this means that if a data breach happens, millions of phone numbers, email addresses, etc., will be leaked, stolen, and potentially sold on the dark web. So maybe consider ditching Gmail for Proton Mail, and get Google out of your life altogether, if at all possible. Because they are the biggest danger to your life if all you do is browse the internet all day, and you like to look up not so common things, or you use specific words that seem to trigger the bots on Google's end, which ends up getting you a nice unexpected visit from the cops, to which you are taken into custody or prison until they can prove you're innocent. But no such thing shall ever happen, because Google will destroy all the data and evidence you have to help you fight in a court of law. So now you're absolutely fucked. You got fucked over by Google, and now you're dealing with the reality of spending the rest of your days in prison, for doing no such criminal activity. Please tell me I should trust and respect Google and the police. Please tell me that again. I will never ever trust those bastards, because Google can so easily ruin your life in a heartbeat, and the cops are following orders like they always do. They cannot do anything else but that. It is their job to follow orders. So if Google tells the cops you're doing suspicious activity with their search engine, the cops will react instantly and follow any orders given by those higher up in the chain of command. The cops then go to the person's house, as Google gave them the IP address, telephone number, email address, and all identifiable information to the cops, to which they arrest and lock up a completely innocent person who was just using Google to find information on the war in Gaza. And because Google thought this person was a terrorist, they thought it would be a good idea to have this person locked up for all eternity. Little did those selfish cunts know that this person was completely innocent and simply looking into this war as they were interested in it. But thanks to Google, that person can expect to spend the rest of their life in prison. Now that was a made-up story. But you can so easily see how something so similar could happen in the real world. Because what's happening in the Middle East has largely affected other places. Countries like Australia have passed new laws that stop people supporting those in Palestine, and Google Gemini refuses to talk about this world event. So tie these things together. You can see how Google could easily get the police onto you and ruin your life. The fact that you're looking into a current world event, with the intention of supporting Palestine, will land you in prison for the rest of your life. So don't even think about asking Google something related to Palestinians, it's likely to get you a free ticket to jail. At this point, Google looks like nothing more than a jailhouse, with no Elvis Presley, and many rows of jail cells. They have ruined many lives throughout the years. In some ways, I feel like Google are the internet police, because of how extensive their surveillance is. It really does make me feel like I am being supervised by an online police officer. Every time I go onto YouTube, I know a cop is watching my activity, even in incognito mode. The cops can still see what you're doing. I know that every time I open up Google Chrome, the cops are spying on me. Even if I use different search engines, Google has complete and total control over the internet. They're like the provider that provides the telephone lines and services. And since Google has the monopoly that they do, it allows the police forces to easily work with Google to get a citizen's data, at request. And since Google has so many users' data, and it's all for sale online, the cops can easily find out who someone is, even if they are not using their real-world name, phone number, etc. What did I say earlier? The cops have all the power, and so does Google, and you have absolutely none. Google are the internet police. They always have been, and their dirty acts are what makes them the internet police. Since everyone basically uses Google, one way or another, you're being surveilled, constantly, by a police officer who can, at any time, ruin your life instantly. So just be very careful about sharing some information with the internet police, also known as Google, because I doubt they can be trusted with it. I cannot trust them to not edit my searches and make me look like a terrorist. I cannot trust that Google won't make me look like some sort of criminal, and attract unnecessary attention from the police. So if I cannot trust Google, or the internet police, then neither the fuck should anyone else, because at a split second's notice, you're being taken away to prison, and I seriously would not want to risk that if I were you. So be smart, stop using Google search, and start using something else like DuckDuckGo, because you're not dealing with the threat of the internet police showing up on your doorstep every time you search for something. Please don't do something you're gonna regret, because trust me, if you land in prison for something Google convicted you of, you're gonna deeply regret not switching to a privacy-focused search engine sooner, but by that time, it's already too late. So please take appropriate action right now before the internet police ruin your life for doing nothing wrong. Anyway, that will do it for this video. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next video. Bye for now.